You have that joke about your dad in the military.
Yeah.
Was that pen to paper?
No.
That one feels pen to paper to me.
Really?
Well, it's just kind of like a perfectly crafted joke.
The
But I guess that's what you want. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to think that joke because that's like crazy that could just be like
yeah.
a thing you say.
Yeah, I remember that was that you're talking about like when how he was not sharing about war.
That's
like,
such a fucking great turn
yeah,
at the end.
yeah. He and that was that was just like real life. Like
That's a gift when you get when it just happens and you're like, that's insane that you just said that.
Yeah, it was insane. And then he lived for another 3 or 4 years? No, 5 years or so, 5, 6 years after that bit. I mean, it just went up from there. The talking about war and the atrocities and like as casual as could be about
That's
it.
insane. That's insane that that's your dad. Like,
I
what a
know.
different life you have.
Well, the thing that I realized later was that I had zero appreciation because he was like such a put together, like, seemingly normal, well-adjusted person, polite and loving and all this stuff. I had zero appreciation for how traumatized he definitely was from war. And it made me realize that there's no such thing as somebody who sees combat and isn't traumatized. Even the ones who say, I happen to not be traumatized, it's just manifesting itself differently through that. So the person
course.
who's just like, yeah, I'm fine, they're not fine. Like
No.
you can't, the only person who would be like literally fine would be and there are these people are like definite like psychopaths who are,
Who aren't fine though.
well, yeah, but theirs is like, how they're kind of designed. But anybody who's not that way, I think if you experience the atrocities of like, people dying next to you, you're killing people, like there's no way you're just like back to business. I'm fine, He
You're
was
right.
fucked up over it. And I think he didn't even have an awareness of that until like the end of his life.
Because I don't think his generation would talk about it. I think
It's a big
his
thing.
generation didn't talk about it enough, and our generation talks about everything too much. And there needs to be some sort of middle ground, but I don't understand. I mean, I feel like everyone back in the day, it was like writers and athletes like Ted Williams and J.D. Salinger served.
Yeah, everybody did.
Isn't that crazy to think
Yeah.
about? I guess like Pat Tillman served, but like think about like the best baseball. Think about like, well, hopefully not Ohtani because he's not on our side, but he'd crush us.
Did you ever think about joining the military?
No.
No, I know. It's like this thing where
Are you kidding me?
I know, but I mean, like I had a,
By the way, I'm not helping us.
no,
No, unless you need another guy complaining in the
these
trenches.
shoes are tight.
I'm like, this is the weather, really? You don't hear a lot about badass Jewish soldiers, unless they're like Israeli.
Yeah, the Israeli guys.
Israeli Jews are different than like New York Jews. No, I'm from like the school of Woody Allen. This is bullshit. Where's my analyst Jews?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not throwing down.
Maybe you could go into intelligence then, I here's the thing though. That generation, like my dad's, like it was the era of the draft.
Yeah.
And he just was like, draft. He just went down there and signed up. Like,
yeah.
And then when I was in high school, there was no even conversation about joining the military. Like it wasn't even thought of. And then people, they could say whatever you want. Like, yeah, you're a pussy or whatever. Like I never even entertained it. I was like, military? Why would I go to the military? Like,
Yeah, no, I respect people that do that like crazy, but but it's not something that I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine the shit your dad saw. I mean, I think about like how fucked up people came back. You even hear like, that's all, by the way, like I think Ted Williams, like he was like a fighter pilot with a shitload of medals. Then he bat like fucking close to 400 before and after.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
it's really crazy.
That it works out for you.
Yeah.
Because then you also have like, there's fucking amazing people who just didn't come back. Think about how
Yeah.
many people died in World War II.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was the thing. My dad never told me until he was like much older that the thing that affected him the most was thinking about the guys in his platoon who died. And he'd never said this. Then he was like, yeah, I think about them every day. I was like, what? He goes, every day. I was like, why would I know that? Unless you say it. He was like, yeah, the guys that like died next to you. I was like, fuck, I'd never considered that because it was never a conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I thought about it every day. Fuck.
Well, you think about who your comedy boys are. I mean, like, and the bonding you must do if you're putting your life on the line. Those are your boys for life,
Forever,
no matter
yeah.
what. I can't imagine. So think about your comedy buddies and how deep the bond is from just the comedy shit you've gone through,
Right.
which can't even. I feel must pale in comparison.
Sure.
but like open mics with people, you're like, that's my fucking dude. Like,
Yeah,
those
forever.
are my friends forever because you see each other weak and you see each other get strong. It's like fucking cool, but
Yeah, you're in the trenches, like the literal, you know, the metaphorical trenches.
metaphorically, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no more trenches anymore, right? I
No.
feel like that's like World War One.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But that's how we still say it.
Well, now
Now it's just a term.
the tech is too advanced.
Yeah.
It's to the point where
How much would it suck to get killed by a drone?
the worst.
I mean, it's like getting shot in the back sucks, but killed by a fucking drone?
Yeah.
Some fucking nerd is just like,
In
pew, pew, pew.
Nevada, is
Yeah.
fucking killing you in the Middle East, and he's just like, "Oh, time for lunch." He gets up, and you're like, "Fuck, yeah, you have no idea."
Yeah, the war injuries for those dudes, they just like trip over a router.
Yeah.
That's like, he's
Yeah.
like, you see this scar? I tripped on a fucking Wi-Fi equipment. Yeah.
That's so
Just
fucked up.
nerds.
It's so fucked up, but it's true.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call two bears, one cave.